So the iPhone's all you really need to create videos. Or your Samsung, Google Pixel, whatever you have that can take high quality videos. I actually hated shooting on these things before, but I'll tell you guys how that all changed. Sony a7S III was and still is actually my go-to camera. And this is the camera that I'm using here right now. So this thing is a beast. I won't get into the technical details and the specs on this camera, but there's a ton of videos on YouTube that you can search up where you can get the full specs on this camera. I think it's the perfect camera for the type of videos that I do. YouTube videos, shorts, TikToks, reels, client videos. The quality on this thing is really amazing, and it's probably the most versatile camera out there for creators such as myself. But it's kind of hard to sneak this thing into special events, which I went to a lot of this year. So at the beginning of this year, I was actually invited by Samsung to an event in New York with a bunch of other creators where we got to use the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and play around with it for a few days. It was actually really cool because I got to meet a ton of other creators from around North America, and I got to see what their mindset was like throughout the whole process. It was kind of cool because it kind of made me think about other ways that I can create my videos to make it a bit more engaging and a bit more entertaining. One of the guys I met there, Drex Lee, who is actually a good friend of mine now, I hung out with him a lot throughout the few days that we were there. I'm going to say about 90 to 99% of his content is created with a smartphone using the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra at the moment, which is really cool because he kind of pushed that phone and showed everyone what you can do with it. Anyone can really do it if you put the time and effort into learning the type of device that you have and what it can do. And the cool thing about his content is that a lot of it is taken in just one shot. I also got to meet Colin and Samir, Binging with Babish, Alex Dempluski, I can't pronounce. Sorry if I'm butchering your last name, but they all gave great advice while we were there. So basically for a few days there, I got to soak in a lot of what the other creators were doing and apply it to what I'm already doing now, which was kind of interesting because most of them were just creating content using their phones. Shortly after that event, I was chosen by MLB to be an ambassador for the season as part of their creator class program. So myself and 8 other creators from around North America were chosen to represent MLB and create content on our own platforms to showcase to our audience. It was a really cool experience because they didn't just choose creators who were making content on baseball already. They wanted to showcase the game to a wider audience. So they selected all types of creators, from comedians to actual baseball players and filmmakers like myself. It was really cool because we had a nice diverse group of creators. So the season was really cool. They flew me out to different places all around the US. And on those trips, I brought this camera with me, which is the Sony a7S III, planning to shoot a ton of content with it, but it never really worked out. And before we go, I just want to give Envato Elements a big shout out for sponsoring this video. If you want a place where you can find all different types of assets that you can use for your video, whether it be Final Cut Pro templates, royalty-free music and sound effects, or even lower third pop-ups that you've been seeing throughout the video, then make sure to go check out Envato Elements. You'll have access to a library which has over 10 million stock assets, which will all be included in one affordable subscription with unlimited downloads as well. Everything that you download is yours to keep forever, even when your subscription is done. So all the projects that you created, whether it's personal or for a client, they'll forever be covered so that you don't have to worry about anything at all. They also have a long list of awesome creatives from around the world that created all of these assets. So you will have a great selection of high quality assets that you can use for your videos. So if you want to learn more about Envato Elements, make sure to click on the link in the description down below and see what you can find on there that can help elevate your next video. So during the season with MLB, I got invited to a ton of special events where I couldn't bring this camera with me. Then I started to realize that I think it wasn't just MLB, it was for a lot of other events I was going to that wouldn't let me use these type of cameras because of... That's not good. What did I do? That was a bad idea, really bad idea. So we're not gonna be swinging the ball and hitting baseballs right now. Okay, so yeah, these type of cameras were banned at a lot of events that we were invited to by MLB. So I couldn't use this to make content. All the other creators that I was with, they all use their phone already. So I knew I had to make that transition and figure out how I could still make quality videos using this guy right here, which is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the camera that I have with me all the time. When I first bought this, I was using a Samsung Galaxy Note, and I knew I had to make the transition to an iPhone because of the new features and tools that they added onto the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So when I got this, I knew that it was capable of doing a lot of great things video-wise. So I knew it was a time to use it and get to know the phone a little bit better. So here are some of the things that I did to make sure that I shot high quality footage with my iPhone. I love slow motion video, so I made sure to set the frame rate on the iPhone to 60 frames per second. I also want high quality videos, so I made sure to shoot most of my content in 4K. I also knew that I had 3 different lenses to work with on the iPhone, a wide, a super wide, and telephoto. So I use each one differently depending on the situation. I also knew that I can lock on focus and exposure by holding on to the subject on screen until it locks. So these were just some of the things that I played around with to make sure that I come out with high quality footage every time I filmed on my iPhone. Whew, it's cold. Is the iPhone comparable to what I can shoot on the Sony a7S III? No, it's not quite there yet. The a7S III has a bigger sensor, so it can do a lot more than what the iPhone can do. It's actually a bit unfair to compare the two in terms of just quality, but if I had to factor in other things that are important to me, like not having to carry around a ton of equipment and the time to set up, especially being in the type of environments that I was in during this year where everything was pretty much run and gun, I would 100% choose the iPhone. But if the final product was for a client and I did have the option to bring this thing with me to create something higher quality for the client, then I would bring this guy with me. I just want to make sure that the client gets the best quality possible if that is what they are after. But yeah, so it all depends on the situation. But honestly, I was just enjoying having this phone with me, being able to pull it out of my pocket and create content on the spot there. It was nice. It was nice just to be able to pull it out, press record, and just do my thing. I know I have more experience than most of you watching this, but honestly, all I really did was learn this phone and figured out how I can best shoot with it in the situations that I was going to be in. And I feel like if you do the proper research, you'd be able to produce quality content as well. Okay, so if you know your phone won't do well in low light, then try to avoid that environment altogether. But if you do have to shoot in low light, then try to find stuff around that environment where you might be able to get better lighting. So what I would do is probably look around and see if there are any light sources that can help make your videos look better and not super dark and grainy. I was also shooting with the S22 Ultra, which is Samsung's latest phone. It does really, really well in low light. And honestly, it would be another phone that I could shoot with if I really needed to. I think what it comes down to is you taking the time to do your research and looking into the device that you're going to be using and figuring out how you can best use this phone, camera, whatever it is, to make quality videos. You just need to put in a little bit of time and effort into what you're shooting with. And honestly, I can guarantee you will be able to come up with some quality stuff with what you have in your pocket already. That's it.